This is how the past meets the present, in dreams of the future. This is how the future meets the past, in memories looking back. Hi everyone, my name is Sandy and welcome back to Sundays. Sundays is a series that I've started where I share the thoughts, ideas, and reflections that I've had in the last week or month or at some point in time. This is now the second video in my Sundays series. If you want to check out the first one where I share my thoughts on feeling lost and what I think it means, then just check the info card or the description down below. Today I want to share something that I thought about a few weeks ago. I've noticed recently I've been in this period of feeling grateful and then forgetting to feel grateful. And a question that I really like to think about from time to time, it'll just pop in my head, is what would my 5, 7, 10, 12-year-old self, pretty much what would a younger self say to me? What kind of advice would my younger self give to me now looking at my life? And the reason I really like this question is because as we get older, I feel like we forget the simplicity of things. We forget to feel grateful of how far we've come, and we get so wrapped up in our everyday lives that sometimes it just takes a child's mind or perspective to see things a little bit more clearly for what they are at the core. So like I said, one day I was just feeling a little down, a little overwhelmed, and I thought, okay, what would my younger self say to me looking at my life right now? And I just looked at it from a lot of different aspects, and it wasn't even clear thoughts. I just kept thinking about it throughout the week, little things here and there. My younger self would probably be so happy that I live in LA, or in the LA area, since technically I live a little bit outside of it. She would probably be so happy and excited because that's something that I've dreamed about since I was a little kid. I always thought LA was a really fun, magical place because I love pop culture, movies, TV, music, all of that. So I think she would be so happy that I'm out here. And that's something that I take for granted a lot. I think she would be really happy that I have an apartment that I've decorated and furnished, and that I live on my own. And I think one thing she would be really happy about to see is that I have a dog. I've loved and wanted dogs ever since I was a little kid, and I think she would think it's so cool that I have a dog that I take care of and that I live with. Something I also think about a lot is I can't believe how long I've been driving and that I have a car, because I remember wanting to drive so freaking badly because I just wanted to get out of the house and have some peace, because I grew up in a household where there was just people constantly in and out of the house, and I was like, I can't wait just to have a car so I can drive and go far away and just be by myself sometimes. I have that. I have a car. I've been driving for so long now, and she'd probably be like, wow, you have a car and you can drive? She would think this is so cool. But nowadays I feel like it's just here. This apartment is here, and I take it for granted a lot that I have it. I think it really made me take a step back and appreciate, like, you're able to do this, and you did do it, and you achieved a dream that you thought of for a really long time. I think she would be so happy that I got to travel and see my top 3 cities, which are LA, New York. She'd be so happy that I got to see New York and Paris. So when I was going through these thoughts, these expectations with reality, these dreams that I used to have, I thought, this is a really great exercise to practice gratefulness, gratitude, counting your blessings. And it helped me realize I'm much more capable than I feel at the current moment, because I was able to accomplish so much and not even realize it. And I've also been taking that for granted. I think a lot of times we have these certain expectations to meet and fulfill our goals or our dreams by a certain age, and it doesn't always work out that way. So there are some times when I look back as when I was a child and I was like, I don't even know that person anymore. I'm different, I'm grown, I'm older. But the more that I've taken a look back at my childhood, the more I realize you're still that child. I'm sure we're all a little familiar with our inner child and the psychology of it. To be honest, I haven't done that much research behind the inner child or delving into it or inner child trauma, but I'm sure this video kind of ties in with that as well, but I won't get into it today. As I was saying, I was looking back and thinking of all the things that I loved. I realized all of those things at the core still make me who I am today. I think this video really ties into my last video about feeling lost, because when I think about the things that I loved and enjoyed as a kid, and I think, do I still enjoy and love those things now? I do. So I think it's a really good mental exercise, I think, to just kind of take a step back, consider how far you've come. There are so many more things that I want to say about the inner child, but they haven't been fully thought out yet. So I'll probably touch on this topic again in future Sundays. Before I sign off, I want to share something that I wrote down in my notes a while ago. This is how the past meets the present in dreams of the future. This is how the future meets the past in memories looking back. When I wrote this down, I thought when I was younger and I would dream of my future, a future self, I dreamt of having my own space, having my own apartment, having a dog, things like that. So I met my future self in my dreams. It might not be exactly how it looks like now. It might have looked completely different, but that's kind of how I saw it. So our current dreams are how we're meeting our future selves. And I thought that was something really cool for me to keep in mind. The second part of that, this is how the future meets the past in memories looking back. When I think about this, I am reminded of that saying, be who you needed when you were younger. And so when I think of my younger self now, it's hard not to imagine my younger self in my childhood bedroom that I shared with my brother and sister. I was on the top bunk. It's hard not to look back at that. I remember laying there before bed, before I fell asleep, dreaming of all these different lives. And it's hard for me not to imagine myself now wanting to hold her and cradle her and tell her everything is going to be okay. And I think this just goes back to the inner child and taking care of that inner child and the healing process. So I hope that idea sticks with you and that this exercise, I guess, I don't know, calling it an exercise makes it sound really kitschy, but it really helped me take a step back and appreciate what I have now and how far I've come from when I was younger. So I would really love to hear from you what's something that you dreamt about as a child that you're actually doing now, that you're actually living out in your life. Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!